Howdy folks, welcome back to the channel. It's me, Normal Guy North again, and today we're diving deep once again into World of Warships with a look at the stealthy British Predator HMS Alliance, the Tier 8 premium sub. She's sleek, quiet, and absolutely unrelenting with played with patience. We'll break down her history, her weapons, her best tactics, and help you decide whether she deserves a place in your port. Commissioned in 1947, HMS Alliance was part of the Amphion-class, a series of submarines originally intended for long-range operations in the Pacific theater. But the war ended before she could see action. Still, Alliance journey didn't end there. She was extensively modernized in the 1950s to reflect Cold War-era advancements, including a more hydrodynamic hull and conning tower designed for stealthy, submerged operations. She actually served until the early 1970s, after which she was preserved as a museum ship in Gosport, England. Today, she stands as a tribute to the British submarine development and its only remaining example of the class. Okay, it's torpedo time. Let's talk torpedoes, because that's where Alliance gets her bite. She's equipped with a total of 6 acoustic torpedo tubes, 4 in the bow, 2 in the stern, both firing 533mm Mark VIII torpedoes by default. These are guided acoustic torpedoes with solid performance, but they have one caveat, and I'll get to in a second. Max damage is only 5,700. With torpedo protection on battleships, it's actually terrible. Floating chance, 29%, that's excellent. Range of 10 kilometers. I feel it should be 11, but that's me. Reload time is 30 seconds, and now it's a 2-4 combination. 2 torpedo tubes reloaded at a time, not all 4, so you have to 2. So they don't get completely reloaded for 60 seconds. Speed of torpedoes is abysmal at 42 knots. These are the slowest torpedoes in the submarine fleet that I'm aware of. These have got to be elevated to at least 70 some odd knots. Torpedo detectability is only 1.1 kilometers, which is great. It's like Pan American destroyers, but still, the damage is the speed is just terrible. These are supposed to be your proverbial bread and butter homing torpedoes. They're consistent, stealthy, long range. You can harass ships from safety and force them to burn their damage control with repeated hits, but the damage is very low. However, if you want a shotgun, if you're looking to play more aggressively, you also have access to the unguided torpedoes. These are the Mark VIII. These are the Mark VIII Mike Zulus. Damage 11,000. It's a little low in my opinion. Flooding chance is 63%, which is outstanding. Range is only 7 kilometers against your 5.7 detectability, so remember that. Reload time, again, 4-2 configuration, so a total of 60 seconds for all torpedoes. 2 torpedoes reload in 30 seconds. Speed is 65 knots. I like to see this a bit higher, but okay. Detectability is 1.7 kilometers. That's up there with like Shimakaze torpedoes, the base ones. I think they're 1.8 kilometers, something like that. They're terrible. Also, the torpedo switching time is 6 seconds between homing and non-homing. Now, these torpedoes don't home in. You'll need to manually aim and predict movement. But if you hit, they hit hard. These are ideal for ambushing distracted enemies, counterattacking during retreats, or finishing off crippled ships. They're amazing for shotgunning. With a 30-second reload and fast tube switching, Alliance brings excellent uptime. She can launch frequently and adapt her armament based on the situation. That flexibility, combined with dual launch capabilities from both ends, makes her a persistent threat on the battlefield. AK, when you're using this boat and using these torpedoes, you're doing the donut as much as possible. And I will say one last thing, the stern tubes are great for cutting away when destroyers are actually charging at you. So you ping the destroyer, launch the actual ping ones, and then you should be able to hit it. Now, let's talk stealth. Because Alliance is a shadow in the deep, with over 5 minutes, I'm not kidding, over 5 minutes of dive capacity, I think mine expected 5 minutes and 25 seconds, Alliance can remain submerged far longer than most submarines at her tier. This gives her the ability to play slower, more methodic games, following the enemies, evading counter detection, and always staying one step ahead. Now, her submerged detection radius is only 2.2 kilometers. That's outstanding, meaning most surface ships won't see her coming until it's way too late. And with no gimmicks like burst speed, sonar, or ultra-fast torpedoes, she forces players to outthink their opponent instead of overpowering them. Use your dive time wisely. Shadow destroyers, wait out hydroacoustic searches, set up long-range bow shots with homing torpedoes, or sneak around and use the stern tubes while retreating. You have the tools to disappear, reposition, and strike again. Alliance also brings some real agility to the table. Her turning circle and rudder shift are both tight, giving you strong defense options against both depth charges or sudden sonar pings. Her speed isn't, say, record-setting, but it's perfect for adequate or controlling the mid-game flow. Underwater, she has enough maneuverability to line up both bow and stern shots and will still reposition without wasting dive capacity. On the surface, her profile is actually small, and she can weave between islands and terrain with ease. Great for ducking aircraft or creeping up on the flank. Reverse handling is essentially important to her. Those two stern tubes let you keep fighting even as you back out of danger. But also, like submarines, you get caught in the open, you're toast. Alliance is not a frontline brawler. Her survivability depends on information control, smart use of sonar pings, and knowing when to back off and vanish. If you manage that, she's one of the slippiest and most annoying subs that surface ships can face. So for Alliance, let's talk about equipment. So I always take merit modification. You guys can pause it and see what you get, but it's a staple with me. The other one I also take, obviously, is engine room protection, because you're going to need that, because you're going to have low HP and you're going to get shot at. As before, when you start getting the tier 8 sub, like I talked about the sturdy, I do take submarine surveillance. It gives me a 20% cooldown towards my submarine surveillance here. It makes it come up quicker, which is easier. I do like it 26 kilometers, but it's very useful. I don't use it on lower tier subs, but I use it on tier 8 and above, going above. I do take submarine gears. They're important to me. It's a 50% reduction in rudder shift time and dive play time, because I always come up, and with combination of using my hydrophone when I see a ship and I've screwed up, I want to get back under as quickly as humanly possible. The last one I take is obviously a 15% reduction. It's called reinforced bulkheads. It's a 15% reduction against depth charge attacks, which is great. You've also got your damage control party. It comes up every 48 seconds, which is pretty good. Of course, then I have the hydrophone. It's only got a 6-kilometer range, lasts 6 seconds, but it does give me the position of the ships, enemy ships. And of course, I have submarine surveillance. Now, it does last, because I have all the modules, 63 seconds, which is great. It's only a 6-kilometer range, but the cooldown is only 70 seconds, which is really good. Now, as for important flags, for me, it's always Juliet Whiskey, plus 15% flooding chance, which is great. Of course, Sierra Mike, an extra plus 5% in the speed. You always want more speed. Then I do take X-Ray Papa. This is great for giving me an extra dive capacity of 5%, which really helps, because these submarines are designed to stay underwater a long time. And last one I take is obviously Sierra Bravo. It takes and cools down your submarine surveillance, your hydro. It's just a fantastic flag to take. I love it a lot. So let's jump into captain skill, shall we? So of course I have Adrian Cunningham, which is fantastic. I do take Liquidator. It's a plus 30% flood chance on my torpedoes. That's exquisite. I do take helmsman, as I told you about the other skills I take. It's if I get caught and I know I'm going to have a problem and I've activated the hydrophone, I get an extra 15 seconds of, minus 10 on rudder shift, minus 10 on the dive plane. That turns up to now a reduction of 60%, gets you down quicker. Of course, I take priority target. Want to see actually how many people are actually aiming at me. I do take consumable specialist, plus 5% on all my consumables, which is very important. Then, of course, I do take preventive maintenance, a 30% reduction in the capacity of my modules. That's important to me. Most important skill in a submarine, watchful. It's like having a crew behind you to back you up and tell what's going around you. But more importantly, it tells you if you go higher or you start to go to the surface, you're going to be, or even dive, you're going to be seen by a certain amount of gimmicks or consumables. So it actually makes you it helps you to not make a mistake. Now, concealed special, I'm going to take, it's a minus 15 reduction in cooldown time for prep time for my consumables, very important. I do take adrenaline rush. That is very, very important to me, because actually you're going to take hits, you're going to lose HP, and things and reloads go quicker. And of course, the last thing I take is a large propeller shaft. It's a plus 18% speed boost when you're below 50% battery capacity. These submarines, the British line, tend to stay there pretty much a lot of times. And that's pretty much your captain. So how do you master HMS Alliance? Well, think long term. You have the endurance to outlast and outplay, so don't rush for kills. Bleed ships down and bleed them dry with consistent and constant torpedo pressure. Switch torpedoes tactically. Use homing torps for positioning pressure and steam torpedoes, or the unacoustic ones, for punishing slow, distracted enemies, especially battleships and cruisers who are too busy shooting across the map. Now, work the edges. Alliance thrives on the flanks, island change, and anywhere it gives you breathing room to set up an attack. Harass, retreat, repeat. You're not there for 100k alpha strikes. That's not how this boat's designed. You're here to break the enemy rhythm, drain consumables, and finish weakened ships, especially DCPs. That's what the pings were kind of really good for. Now, don't waste your dive time. Use it to reposition intelligently, not just to hide. Every second submerge should be working towards the next strike. Alliance rewards players who stay calm and are surgical. She doesn't deliver instant gratification, but she will let you control the tempo of the battle. So, is HMS Alliance worth picking up? That's a great question. Now, if you like the idea of long-range hunter with high endurance, tactical flexibility, solid stealth, then yes, Alliance is obviously worth adding to your fleet. She doesn't hit like a hammer, but she wears down the enemies like a scalpel. Slowly, methodically, and relentless. She's perfect for players who enjoy thinking 2 steps ahead and managing tempo over burst. And of course, she's a living piece of naval history. still afloat today as a museum. If you're a collector or a fan of the Royal Navy Engineering, Alliance is a must-have for you. Okay, that wraps up our full breakdown of HMS Alliance. If you found this review helpful, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more World of Warship content on this channel from yours truly. Now, do you got any experience Alliance? Do you have it? Do you playing it? Do you want to get it? Let me know down in the comments. As well, I would love to know if anyone's actually been in the museum, what they thought of it, because, I mean, it's a cool museum. I also love hearing about different captains' approach to these stealthy subs. But as always, until next time, take care, stay safe. I wish you all the best. Bye for now.